Finished, thank you. So can we start? All right. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. A warmest welcome to all of you to Hilton Resort Bali, a very special occasion, the Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between Anantara Energy Holdings and Countrywide Hydrogen, today, November 17, 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are in Bali, allow me to greet you with our Balinese way, Om Swastiastu, which means may health, healthy, happiness, and prosperity always upon us. My name is Ita Sadana, and I'm very happy to be the master of ceremony for today's event. And on behalf of the organizing committee, we would like to extend our appreciation to each and every one of you that have presence here in person or joining us by virtually by Zoom and also by the live streaming. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to announce that here we have the honorable guest, Mr. Simon Jibel from Quantum Power Asia. Give a round of applause to him, ladies and gentlemen. Secondly, we also have Mr. Jos van A from IB Folk Singapore. Please round of applause for Mr. Jos. And of course, we have Mr. Boyd White from Countrywide Hydrogen. Another round of applause for Mr. Boyd, please. To all the participants, media friends, and all the members of the House, once again, a very good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into the main agenda, let us get to know more about the companies who are there in the MoU itself. Well, Quantum Power Asia is an independent power producer focused on the development of grid-connected and off-grid remote hydropower and solar PV and PV hybrid solution through acquisition, strategic partnership, and greenfield developments. Quantum have been a pioneer of Indonesia's solar PV industry since 2014 and have built pipelines of more than 7 gigawatts of solar PV in Indonesia for corporate clients in mining, processing, and value-added industry. IB Folk Singapore, established in 2002, a privately owned integrated developer headquartered in Germany, focusing on developing and delivering high-quality, large-scale turnkey PV plants worldwide. Has a global footprint with presence in UK, the Netherlands, Spain, France, Poland, Egypt, USA, Australia, India, Singapore, and the Philippines, as well as joint venture in more than 20 countries. It has built more than 2.9 gigawatt PV and under construction by Q4 2022. And more than 40 gigawatt PV project pipeline. And about the Countrywide Hydrogen, ladies and gentlemen, it is a provider of renewable hydrogen production services intended to decarbonize mobility, power generations, and natural gas with emission-free hydrogen. The company serves over renewable hydrogen that will replace carbon-intensive inputs in industrial processes such as ammonia production and green steel manufacturing industry. Well, today, these three companies mentioned above are in collaboration of building the largest solar PV project in the world, ladies and gentlemen. 3.5 gigawatt of clean energy production, 6 billion US dollar foreign direct investment for Indonesia. By this project also create more than 3,000 direct and indirect opportunities for Indonesia in supporting industry, around 120,000 equivalent jobs over the life of the project, 10,000 skilled and semi-skilled for Indonesia, and of course, generating significant revenue from unproductive land. Ladies and gentlemen, another good news of today's event, that this project is in line with the most discussing issue at the B20 G20 forum that was held this past week here in Bali, where our President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, along with His Excellency Minister Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, the Coordinating Minister of Maritime Affairs and Investment of the Republic of Indonesia, are concerning about the sustainable development of our energy resources. The main energy sources used today are dominated by fossil energy. The high energy consumption causes fossil energy to run out and can cause an energy crisis. Indonesia has abundant potentials of renewable energy, especially solar energy, as geographically Indonesia is a tropical country. This becomes an opportunity to increase a long-term investment and get a significant economic multiplier effect, including a contribution to our environment. Ladies and gentlemen, we will witness a new big starting milestone through the MoU signing today. To kick off our meeting, let us spread our best spirit, the whole positive energy, by giving your biggest round of applause. Once again, ladies and gentlemen. We kindly inform you that today's event is also live by Zoom and also by live streaming. And to begin our agenda today, we would like to invite Mr. Simon Jibel, the Managing Director of Quantum Power Asia and the Director of Anantara Energy Holdings, to give his welcome remarks. Please, sir.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to see everyone here. Thank you for the nice and warm introduction. We'd like to thank you for coming today, for witnessing our MoU signing between Anantara Energy and Countrywide Hydrogen, based in Australia. The MoU represents the second agreement that we have signed to bring major investments into Indonesia in the value-added manufacturing sector. In the last month, we've signed more than $625 million worth of investment for Indonesia, adding to the $6 billion commitment that we've already made to build the 3.5 gigawatt mega project in the Riau Islands. These agreements are just the beginning of what will reinforce our commitment to support Indonesia's plans for energy transition through investment, which has been emphasized across the B20 and G20 this week. The MoU will enable us to design a framework for cooperation and to explore the investment viability of developing commercially competitive ammonia and green hydrogen in Indonesia for the Indonesian market, as well as for export to Asia and potentially even Europe. This work and the partnerships that we are forming are part of a broader plan and commitment to drive value-added manufacturing to Indonesia. We believe green hydrogen and ammonia produced from renewable energy will play a key role in the future net zero economy for Indonesia and the region more broadly. This is in addition to the demand we believe will emerge from Europe for export from Indonesia. In support of green hydrogen production and the Indonesian clean energy sector more broadly, our 3.5 gigawatt project will be a catalyst for major energy transition in Indonesia. Our project will fulfill demand in the Riau Islands. It will generate tax revenue and streams of export value-added clean energy from Indonesia. Cross-border clean energy trade is not a zero-sum game. There is no need to think of it as either or. It is but a double win for Indonesia. There are only winners here, and there are many opportunities to add value creation added benefits to Indonesia. Renewable energy is one of the resources Indonesia can utilize domestically and simultaneously export to the region without depleting our resources for powering our domestic industries and our consumer power grids. In the case of solar PV, there is no exploitative practices for the land, and to the contrary, it is protected by solar panels. It is a real opportunity for win, win, win. Indonesia wins, the environment wins, and our regional partners can benefit from a collaborative approach to cross-border clean energy trade where Indonesia can take a leadership role across ASEAN. Over the last week, we have seen what exactly is possible as Indonesia has stepped up to play a significant global leadership role in the clean energy space. This has been evidenced by the many, many announcements across B20 and G20 this week here in Bali. We fully support these commitments, and we are ready to expand our investments in clean energy across Indonesia to augment the more than 6 gigawatts of solar PV projects we are developing from Papua to Kepri. We are Indonesia first. Earlier this month, we signed an MoU with Seraphim for a $500 million investment to build a solar PV manufacturing plant in Indonesia anchored by our 3.5 gigawatt project. Without the demand from this project, Seraphim would not be willing to develop a manufacturing facility in Indonesia. The additional jobs and investment into Indonesia will create an international standard, Indonesian-made, global solar panel capability. This is all part of our Indonesia First strategy. The partnerships we have created and specifically designed to provide economic benefits to Indonesia and jobs for local communities are now taking shape. And our partners are just as motivated as Quantum and IBV to make sure our economic endeavors in the country benefit Indonesia. As part of this approach, we've put in place benefits and strategies so that local communities around the project will benefit first. This project will be an enabler of massive transformation in the region. Sea transport infrastructure will be significantly upgraded. Bridges will be developed, and a road network will be established to allow the clear and efficient movement of goods. In total, we bring more than $7.8 billion of investment to Indonesia and create jobs for the 40 years the project will run. The project and the partnerships anchored around it can enable Indonesia to become a global solar power manufacturing player and a leading producer of green hydrogen and clean ammonia. It is an exciting time for clean energy and Indonesia, and we welcome this partnership with Countrywide Hydrogen and working together in Indonesia. Thank you.
Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to Mrs. Simon Jibal. Thank you very much for your welcome remarks. And up next, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Mr. Boyd White, the director of Countrywide Hydrogen, to share some of his plan regarding the hydrogen production to the mega project in Indonesia. Time's yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Boyd White. I am the chairman of Renew Energy Limited. Renew Energy is a company listed on the Australian Stock Exchange, and we invest in renewable technologies and renewable energy businesses. I'm also director of Countrywide Hydrogen, and Countrywide is a wholly owned subsidiary of Renew. It's my great pleasure to be here today to represent Countrywide in the signing of an MoU with Anantara for the production and development of green hydrogen here in Indonesia. We see great potential in Indonesia for green hydrogen. Green hydrogen is something that can help decarbonise heavy transport such as trucks and buses. Green hydrogen can be used in the replacement of diesel in Indonesian communities, also in agriculture. Green hydrogen can be converted to ammonia, and ammonia is used in the manufacture of fertiliser, explosives, and be used in the replacement of natural gas in gas-fired power stations, therefore reducing CO2. The other thing that our projects will bring is complementary development of businesses, such as the manufacture of electrolyzers used in the production of green hydrogen. So we see the benefits to Indonesia of our projects in the creation of new jobs, the upskilling of the existing workforce, the adding to gross domestic product through economic multipliers of these projects, who are sometimes in the order of 8 times. We see revenues potentially from export coming into Indonesia only after we've dealt with the domestic side of things. And finally, but not leastly, it has a very positive impact on climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Boyd White. Thank you for your sharing. And last but not least, today we would like also to hear a remark from Mr. Jos van A, Commercial Director of IBFOG Singapore and Director of Anantara. Time is yours.
Thank you very much, Sita. Welcome to everyone who has come to the signing of the MoU, and as well members that are witnessing through the live stream. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. We're very pleased with the partnership with Countrywide Hydrogen. As a representative of IB Vogt, we are one of the pioneers of the Indonesian solar sector. Through the Anantara energy project, we see an opportunity to really scale up the efforts in Indonesia to bring clean energy for both Indonesia and the broader region. Over the last few days, we have witnessed commitments at the G20 and the B20 to decarbonize, both at the global scale, regional, but we've also seen the announcements and the commitments for Indonesia to become clean in the next few decades. We see with this signing a good step forward to put those commitments into action and actually deliver on clean energy for Indonesia. Through this partnership, we see a lot of complementary benefits between what Anantara is bringing in the solar space, together with the skills and experience in hydrogen from Countrywide Hydrogen. So thank you very much.
Give a round of applause and please, thank you. Please be seated, sir. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after hearing some speeches from our honorable guests, of course, we would like to now jump into our main agenda, which is the signing processions. So for that, we would like to once again invite Mr. Simon G. Bell from Quantum Power Asia, Mr. Boyd White from Countrywide Hydrogen, and Mr. Jos van A from the IBFOG Singapore to be on the stage, please. Please be on the positions of signing and allow me to count down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like everyone is ready to witness the new milestone. So now let us count down together. In 3, 2, 1, please sign the MoU. Ladies and gentlemen, give a round of applause for the new milestone of today's event. The Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between Anantara Energy Holdings and the Countrywide Hydrogen. All right, and now let's have a picture to commemorate this beautiful occasion. Please hold the document and then show it to the camera. All right. Now let's retry another angle of picture. Okay, we got it. Maybe in front of the desk would be nice. Another one, please. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, round of applause for the signing sessions of today's agreement. And sir, you may return to your seat as we are going to set up the talk show. Thank you. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is the time that I'm sure everyone has been waiting for. Yes, we will start the talk show or the press conference right after we doing the preparations on the stage. And also we kindly inform to all of our media friends that are attending our event virtually, we are pleased you to ask some questions relating to the collaborations of both parties. And kindly please type the questions in the comments box. Mention your name, your media company name, and to whom you would like to ask the question. And by the way, you can start uploading the questions from now, since we have heard quite a lot of information about the MoU or the company itself. And I'm pretty sure that we are all agree that energy cannot be separated from our life, as it is the basic need that impacting our economic growth and also human welfare. According to the International Energy Agency, IEA, global energy demand continues to increase and is expected to increase by 30% by 2040. The main energy sources used today are dominated by fossil energy. The high energy consumption causes fossil energy to run out and can cause an energy crisis, ladies and gentlemen. So to overcome the kind of problem, today's event, today's memorandum of understanding signing ceremony is one of the solutions, which is we change the uses of today's energy into another green, cleaner energy sources. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we will start our press conference by inviting once again Mr. Simon Jubel from Quantum Power Asia, Mr. Jos van Ah from IBFOG Singapore, and Mr. Boyd White from Countrywide Hydrogen to be on stage, please. Gentlemen, it is an honor for me to be on stage with you and having, I'm sure it's a very exciting talk show, a very exciting conversation among us, as we just passed the very big event of G20, B20, this is the main issues that they are discussing. As ladies and gentlemen, the past B20, they are focusing on of what we have to do, which is like just what you say, winners, winners, and winners. There's only winners. So what we need to do, and what have you said in the welcoming remark, is just in line in what we have in Bali, the conceptual life that we call Trihita Karana, the relationship with our environment, the relationship with among the people, and the relationship with the universe. And that is in line with what we are having today, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, can we give a round of applause for the gentlemen in front of us here? And I think we can start our press conference. Let me have a look if there's already any question from our media partner. All right, so yes, once again, to all of our media partners that are joining us virtually by Zoom, we please you to type the questions at the comments box, and then please just mention your name, your company name, and to whom you would like to ask the question, please. So I think we have no questions yet, so let's just start our conversation with my questions, okay? So, well, if we're seeing from the title of our memorandum of understanding today, it's between Anantara Energy Holdings and Countrywide Hydrogens, right? But here we have three gentlemen from three companies. Would you like to explain about the Anantara itself? What is it, and is there any project that's running, and what is the project? Maybe from Simon or Mr. Yos?
I'll start you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Yos, please.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for the question. So the Anantara initiative started about a year ago when we saw this really good opportunity to build a mega-scale project of 3.5 gigawatt in Indonesia. IBVOGT, as a global developer, has been working with quantum energy already for many years. And we felt that this is the time to now scale up and deliver kind of large-scale solar for Indonesia.
All right, so it's a collaboration from the IBVOGT and also the Quantum Power Asia, belonging in Anantara, right? And it's working on a big project, which is, I heard, it's in Kepulauan Riau, or Riau Archipelago, for the largest solar PV that is going to be built. Wow. All right, so that is about the Anantara collaboration, ladies and gentlemen. And what about the MoU today? In general, would you like to please, what is in the MoU, Mr. Simon?
Sure, I think the MoU is the beginning of a longer-term journey between Anantara and Countrywide Hydrogen. And it's looking at exploring how can we make competitive clean hydrogen available in Indonesia for the Indonesian domestic market, and also looking at export opportunities. I think that, you know, we see as green hydrogen and the demand for clean hydrogen ammonia grows, Indonesia has an opportunity to be a real player and a major player internationally in this space. So we will be looking at how we can best set up the commercial arrangements, how we can make the pricing of clean hydrogen and green hydrogen competitive and as low as possible, and what infrastructure needs to be put in place to make this a reality.
Okay, wow, very nice answer. Can we have a round of applause for that, ladies and gentlemen? It's actually an answer of what they are discussing in G20, right? So now we are moving to the Countrywide Hydrogen, Mr. Boyd. So you will be preparing for the hydrogen productions, right? And then also, I think before the project runs in Kepulauan Riau, in Riau Archipelago, there will be also, I heard that concept study and then the visible study to prepare the hydrogen production. Would you like to tell us about it?
Yes, my pleasure. So typically in these projects, what you would do is look at where it's going to be built, what the demand will be. So you do a concept study. So we look at the concept, what will be the size of the project. So what we would do is probably start with something that's around domestic demand. So enough hydrogen for, as I spoke before, about in the decarbonisation of heavy transport. And then, as Simon mentioned, the idea is to scale up and then export. So we meet the domestic demand, we make sure that we're dealing with everything that's required in Indonesia, and then it's all about scaling up and doing something that's larger. So from a concept study, we then do a feasibility study, and the outcome of the feasibility study says this project's ready to go. Then we go about actually building and operating the plant.
All right. So, where it will be for this study? Because I think it should meet the need or necessary of the citizen, right? I mean, like you should go into the citizen itself. Where does it go? I mean, where will you build or you do this study? Do you know?
Yeah, so I mean, we are tying the hydrogen study and implementation to our project in Riau, in the Riau Islands. And so what's special about that is the Karimun Special Economic Zone, which has...
It's Karimun.
Correct.
Okay.
So there's a lot of benefits to that area and to manufacturing in that space.
Right.
And we are working very closely with the Bupati in Karimun Besar and also the governor in the Kepulauan Riau, who are very supportive of obviously bringing in new investment and new jobs for the local communities. So this project will be tied quite closely to our PV project with IB Vogue, and will be located in the Special Economic Zone in Karimun.
Okay, Special Economic Zone in Karimun. So then from the result of the study, then we can know and we can implement it to the mega project in Riau Archipelago, right? Okay, so let me check if there are any question maybe from our media partner. All right, still not yes. Anyone would like to ask, please? The time is yours. While we're still waiting for the question from our media. So we have talked a little bit about the memorandum, about what the project is, and now maybe some general knowledge about the solar PV itself, right? So solar PV is an alternative solution of replacing fossil energy, which is much more friendly to the environment, right? And of course, this is also relating to our climate, to our weather in Indonesia, which is we are a tropical country. And what about if we have no sun? Will this kind of energy or will this kind of solution will still working?
I'm happy to answer.
Yes, it's a very silly question. Maybe just think that I don't know anything about it, right?
I think it's a very good question.
Okay,
Had this question since 2014.
And it has been a concern for the off-takers of solar power generally around the world. I think what is unique about this project is that we're combining solar power with a very large battery storage component. So during the day, the project will be creating clean energy, and part of that will be stored in a large battery, the same as you may be having in your laptop, and then at night the battery will release that power. So in that way we are able to provide clean energy 24/7.
I'm sure that most of the people knows about that, but let's just see, we spread the information to everyone, right, to the society. So, all right, so I'm going to move into the other questions about one of the target from our government, which is they said, well, I have read from one of the article that they would like to build 6.5 gigawatt solar PV by 2025. And what do you think about that target from the government, Simon?
I think that, as I said earlier, it's an exciting time for clean energy in Indonesia, and there's been a lot of talk for a long time, but finally the talk has reached its way to the top. And when we have leaders in Indonesia talking about clean energy and energy transition, and when clean energy has made its way to the top of the agenda at events like B20 and G20, there is a momentum that is being created that is really hard to stop. And as you've heard, I mean, Quantum has been in the solar PV industry in Indonesia since 2014. Many years now we've been collaborating with IB Vogue, and in the last year and a half we've developed 6+ gigawatts of solar, which is a tremendous change for Indonesia, where we're looking at a 400 megawatt project in Sulawesi to help green nickel and support Indonesia's electric vehicle and green nickel aspirations. We're looking at large-scale projects in Papua. We're looking at power wheeling projects for Java and bringing clean energy to data centers. and looking at really how can we support this transition which Indonesia has already made a commitment to do. And so now I think we're at a time where we're beyond words, and it's time to actually implement and realize.
That's right. The implementation is more than everything, right? But what do you think about the time that just now the talk becoming to the top, right? Is it really the right time, or is it too late to start this kind of project?
When would now be a good time? Absolutely, it's the right time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's
right.
not just in Indonesia, it's globally. I mean, the energy crisis that we're seeing as a result of the situation in Europe, this is the time to use these external factors to drive the development of renewables globally, and in particular in Indonesia.
Yeah, at least we start, beyond words, like you said. Okay, so one more question from me, and we still, anyway, we already have, maybe we can go to the media questions first. And this is from Wirawan. Halo Bapak Wirawan, terima kasih sudah bergabung. What is your opinion? Indonesia will become one of the leading countries to provide clean energy in the future. Maybe.
My pleasure.
Yes,
Yeah.
from the Countrywide hydrogen.
Yeah. As I said, I think Indonesia has significant potential for providing energy, both in green hydrogen.
I'm sorry, sir, would you like to close the mic?
Is that too close?
Yes,
Yeah,
a little, so we can hear clearly.
Okay,
Like,
is that better?
Yeah, better,
all right.
much better.
So I think Indonesia has significant potential to be an exporter of green hydrogen, green ammonia, and also of energy to the ASEAN region. You've got a large area, you've got land available, you've got great solar resources, wind resources potentially. So yes, it definitely is. And you've got a wonderful, wonderful people who are committed to working hard, and I think that this is great for Indonesia.
Yeah, sure, of course, it is really great for Indonesia as we have lots of renewable resources anyway. Yeah. So when we meet the need from the citizens of Indonesia, then we can do the export for that, is it?
Yes, that's correct, yeah. So there's nothing stopping you exporting both electricity and green hydrogen.
Oh, okay, wow, okay. So thank you Bapak Wirawan, cuman di sini tidak tercantum ya dari media mana. And the other question from our media partner is from Ibu Lina. Thank you, Ibu Lina. How can this MoU benefit local community and Indonesia in general?
I'll take that one. I think that Anantara generally is focused on hyper-local support, and it's about designing supply chains and working with the local community to upskill and to create business opportunities, economic opportunities, employment opportunities that are centered around the development of our project. I mean, this is a 10-year development in terms of our mega project for solar PV. That's construction over multiple phases, and the green hydrogen is a project that we believe can even start before the solar PV is fully completed. So there are a lot of opportunities for both skilled labor and also unskilled. And let's not forget the supporting industries. You know, we're looking at 10,000 plus people coming in. That's a lot of eggs, that's a lot of laundry, that's a lot of transport, that's a lot of cafes and local warungs and local convenience stores. And this is really an economic transformation that the local communities will benefit from. And what we've seen as we've spent the last year in Kepri is there's been a significant brain drain. And so the younger people are leaving the small islands to go to Batam or to go to Jakarta for opportunities. This is a very unique opportunity for us to bring work and the youth back closer to their families, being able to study, live, work around where they grew up, where I think they would like to be. So it's an exciting time for us to partner with the local community.
Yeah, so it seems like, wow, finally I can come into my hometown and have a work there and, yeah, create some futures over there. All right. So thank you very much for the question from Ibu Lina from the press, right? And is there any question from our media partner? Is it? Okay, not yet. So, all right. I think, ladies and gentlemen, we have shared a lot about our MoU today, about what is the project Exactly. And now we would like to jump into the closing statement from each of you, please. We'll start from Mr. Yours.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was excellent to have the opportunity here to be on the stage with you. Very good to see that there is such a strong interest through the media partners and the people that are here. Now I think it is for us to put MoU into action and take the next steps, as we talked about feasibility study, finding off-takers for hydrogen, and that will help us progress also the Anantara project. So excellent event today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then please, next, Mr. Boyd.
Yes, likewise, I agree totally with everything there you've just said. Yeah, we're very excited about this project, the opportunity and the potential that we see here in Indonesia, and the ability to work with two fantastic groups, or one entity as such, with Anantara, is what we're looking forward to. So progressing this project, getting the feasibility completed, and then getting stuck into actually getting these projects going. So thank you very much, everyone. I've thoroughly enjoyed the ability and the chance to speak and talk a little bit about Countrywide and this exciting project. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. And then please.
And just finally, thanks everyone for joining us. We are equally excited to implement this project, and we see it as an opportunity to potentially be the first green hydrogen production in Indonesia, and we're going to be working very hard to make that happen as quick as possible. So thanks very much. It's been a great event. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to the gentleman, and of course to the first green project of the solar PV in Kepulauan Riau, Indonesia. And now let us wrap up with a picture for three of us, three of you, and four of us. Three of you first, please. All right, and all the media friends, please be ready also. So the first picture will be from our official camera here by live. Tremendous support by online and offline throughout the proceeding of our meeting today. And finally, I'm Ita Sedana signing out. Once again, thank you for having me. As Balanese said, Rahayu, Matur Suksema, Om Santi, Santi, Santi Om. Thank you. Okay, so we already cut off from the streaming session, from the streaming line. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have a little break. We would please you to enjoy the coffee breaks.